Hey, it's your boy. Welcome back once again to Lost Map, and this is actually recorded well after this has been filmed. So audio well after the filming of the thing. Yeah, whatever. Pretty much, this is like the third time I've actually had to go through this video because one, my audio drivers decide to crash on me and my mic stopped being picked up. And then second time around, my microphone was the complete wrong one that was being picked up and you couldn't hear anything. So now I'm on my good microphone. You can hear me, but this is being filmed like a week later than it really should have been. It was supposed to be out like last week, a week and a half, something like that. I don't remember when, but I never got around to doing it because I honestly just forgot. And so one thing that I did kind of go over with this level, I kind of remember, is I hate swimming levels. And I pointed this out. And the fact there are the mushrooms, which just slow down progress beyond belief here. It's just like so bad. Which, it's a short level. It's almost over from what I remember. Yeah, there it is. So, I mean, it's not terrible. I'm just not a fan of swimming levels, and the mushrooms just really slow it down severely because you have to go out of your way to get to them. It's just, I didn't find it a whole lot of fun, but that was just me. Anyway, going over here to the next one, Aqua Booze Dungeon. This one, I was like, okay, it's a land thing, but then it's like water. I'm like, oh, great. But then this gives like an urgency to the mushrooms. Where before it was just like they were there, you had to go out of your way to get them. This one, it's like you have to keep moving forward. You have a very limited time. You have enemies chasing you, but you don't really have the leeway of waiting around too long and try and get them out of your way into better positions. And so that was something that was really nice about this level, is even though it's still using the little air mushroom gimmick, it's a lot nicer in the sense of you're pressured to go forward. And honestly, I could have gone under the level here. I figured that out later after there's like an air mushroom that's like under the level, and it's like, oh, I could have gone under the level. But yeah, if you notice, it's like you're pressured to move forward really, really heavily, but at the same time, you're forced to like hang back really far at the same time. So this one, the castle, makes a lot better use of the air mushroom than the previous level. As one thing that I was noting about this, it was just, it was nice. It was a nice change of pace. But actually, I think there's like a power-up behind that one. I don't bother going towards it, going for it. But I mean, looking at the video right now, you can see there was a power-up or something behind it. So maybe it wasn't to go under the level, but you go backwards. Anyway, I didn't even read that message box, to be honest. I was like, whatever. And then here, I'm like trying to save the air mushrooms as much as possible because I'm like, I'm pretty sure it's still just 3 hits, but I'm not positive, and I don't want to like take a chance of not having air to go on. But then it's like, yeah, it's dead. So that was all well and good and everything. On to the next level, Deep Trouble. Another water level, and this one, it's super cramped, and I'm commenting on that right now. It's expecting you not to have power-ups, which is fine, but if you come in with a power-up, you have to go and get hurt, I would assume. But it's a super cramped level, and it's really not that fun, because in these tight corridors, Mario walks. It's like you can't really make him swim, and he goes super slow when you're walking underwater. So you run into this situation where you have to spam the jump button to make him go even slightly faster. And all the Rip Van Fish here is just horrible. And then here it's like, okay, I gotta go. And it gets worse. I think here's... yeah, this one. This one is worse. Because, like, I accidentally pressed down there, so I really, like, screw myself over. Then there's a Rip Van Fish in the tunnel. And it's like, okay, I just gotta go back and, like, really spam the jump button. Like, really spam the jump button. And I'm not having a good time with this at all. Again, it's a short level, so it's like nothing super special, but it's rather annoying. I'm not a fan of swimming levels. People don't usually make them very well. They're not fun to play most of the time. And especially things like that where you give a super cramped corridor. The air mushroom really wasn't even that big of a deal. They were in your path, so you didn't have anything to really worry about there. But it just wasn't that fun of a level. Here, bloopers. I'm like trying all pipes because I'm like, there's probably something that I'm like, screw it. I got attacked by a blooper. I'm running out of air. I'm just gonna keep going. Go forward. Move on. And now, change of pace. Which I'm like, oh, this is pretty awesome. But it introduces wall kicking, which is fine, I guess, but very limited time. And wall kicking in Mario, I've always had an issue with, because it's never done very well. And it's not that people make levels around wall kicking, like they don't do those very well. It's the wall kick patches in general, which are just not made very well. And you kind of have to like hold against the wall and then press backwards or the opposite direction, and it's just not fun. And then coming up here, it's really not that fun because you introduce enemies you cannot see. So you kind of get to this point, it's like, okay, there's an enemy there, then you come up here, and then it's like, okay, there's a springboard that I can't get past, and then up here, kick, and kick, then it's like, okay, another springboard, and, oh, where is it? It's up here, where the vine is. So, you get up to the vine, and then you go up here, and then it's like, oh, there's an enemy there, whatever. I got hurt. Sure, I saw it. But then, enemy out of nowhere that you cannot see prior to getting up there, which is just a pain in the ass. And then again, you're at a point where you have like so little room, and you're really forced at a very small time limit that it's like... It's just not that fun. Having really cramped corridors does not make for a fun level. It really doesn't. It makes for a frustrating time. But then Mortons Tower, I kind of talk about that a little bit more right there, about how it just really wasn't that good of a time. But Mortons Tower, we go in here, and it's climbing level, which isn't bad. I mean, except for right there where it's like, oh, great, the issue with the climbing nets. Climbing nets are not vines. Their hitbox is very funky and awkward, and if you're not centered on it correctly, you just fall through it. It's really not that good. And that's nothing on creator. Nothing on how the level was made. It's just the climbing nets in general. And then here, so I want to note those blocks are the blocks the fire bars are going around. So in my mind, I'm like, oh, they're just brown used blocks. It's a black and white level, black and white brown used block, whatever, nothing too big of a deal there. They're not actually brown used blocks. And we'll find that out in a second when I discover this fact, where I'm like, okay, then I go to jump on top of it. And I'm like, oh, they're I'm going to kill you block. So, not exactly the best way to do it. Obviously, it should have been a little bit more obvious because they're an inverted color. The brown used blocks would have been more akin to what they normally look like with a black outline, but it's just not the best. With a monotone gray, black and gray, you know, black, white, and then those I'm going to destroy you blocks. And again, that's what Mauser is sitting on, is I'm going to destroy you blocks, and I hit them right there. Mauser, not a hard fight. He's annoying. He's really annoying in Super Mario World. Mainly for the fact that the bombs, you have to get them at the very end of his platform. And if you don't, you end up, you know, he ends up hitting the bomb that you threw up there. So, Mauser's not a hard fight in Super Mario World, just an annoying fight. Because you have to get him over there, like, all the way. If you don't, you just run into stuff. Then there's that, and I'm like, I want my feather, and die because, you know, those I'm gonna kill you blocks. Anyway, on to the real boss. This dude, Morton, Roy, I don't remember. And I get hurt, and I'm like, you know what, whatever, not really that big of a deal. It's kind of tired, so it's like, yeah, I kind of just took a hit for no good reason. And again, I took a hit for no good reason, and then jump into bullets. I'm like, yeah, whatever, screw that. So there you have it. That is a dead boss. And I really don't remember what's next, to be honest. I don't actually remember. Frozen Grotto is next. That's what's next. But, I talk about something, and I don't remember what I talk about at all. I know I went back because I'm like, I don't remember. Oh yeah, I was looking for power-ups. I'm like, I don't remember if there's a power-up in Mario's house or not. That's something I just flat out don't remember. I go up there because I'm like, is there something here? The blue door. I'm like, nah, that's just coins, isn't it? I'm like, yeah, it's just coins. I don't even bother doing the coins. Just like, that's all it is, whatever. I need to go back in there, actually, because Yellow Switch is gotten later on. I will say that. That's the next Switch that is gotten is Yellow Switch. So I need to go back into Mario's house and check that out. Maybe there's mushrooms or some sort of power-up there. But that's what I was doing. I was looking for a power-up because I don't have any. And I was like, you know what? Whatever. I'll just continue forward. Icebound Grotto will be next time. And this has been Ninja Boy, and I will be back later with more of this game next time. See you guys then.